Welcome to Reader's Digest, the nicest places in America, the October 2023 issue. Let's go ahead with this. Wherever you are, have a nice day. First of all, we're going to start off with the cover story, which is on page 48 of the Reader's Digest in this issue. The nicest places in America. Now, the nicest place in America is here, and the top honor, actually, the first place honor, goes to Buffalo, New York. And Buffalo, New York itself is a pretty darn interesting place, too. They're like boardwalk biking at the kennel site, which is like in the picture, which is also in the cover, and then facing the page, there's like clockwise from top left. There's our towers. There are tower buildings at Richard Olmsteen campus. Yes, there's She's Buffalo Theater. The terrace at Delaware Park, the Shark Girl at Candleside, and vendors at the Taste of Dynasty Festival, which is pretty darn interesting too. And yeah. Now, there's this story actually features this guy, a barber called Craig Elston, and he will open his doors to anyone who actually needs shelter. So yeah, here we go. Now, by the time the blizzard actually hit on this fateful day, Buffalo, the Craig Elston, was the last barber left in his shop. Inside was the warmth, the safety, and a really, really well-stocked candy machine, meaning you have good food supply. Also, not that healthy too. Outside, there was like a swirling mess of rotten winter and the worst that could have ever happened. Now, that was December 23rd of 2022, and the day had been dawn mild, but by midday, temperatures have plunged, and winds were blasting and snow was piling up fast, and news reports actually grew urgent. Get off the roads and find shelter fast. Now, soon the neighbors actually were knocking, desperate for warmth and safety, because over the course of the next 5 brutally cold days, they passed Christmas. Also would help dozens stay warm, fed, alive, and at least 40 people, many more, at least he figures. Now, this wasn't fun or easy. Actually, according to him, one dude flooded the toilets 3 times, he said, but it had to be done. He added, those 40 people could have died out there. Yeah, that's true. Now, Craig Elston is 38. He grew up in Buffalo, where he runs the CNC Cuts barbershop on Fillmore Avenue. It's like the kind of neighborhood where you can get a gun like it's a loaf of bread. But it's also full of hardworking people of all times, like including the new immigrants and families that have lived there for generations. And challenges are nothing new for like these Buffalo residents too. So they were able to get through all this place. And everyone's basically saying that this is the best way this could be. Like Bill Russell, Elston's basketball coach, actually inspired his former player to take care of others during the blizzard too. Yay! In 1950, of course, the Buffalo has actually struggled economically in recent decades. So, in 1950, the city's population was almost 600,000 people. By 1990, it was just down over 30,000. And that was where the same year that Buffalo's beloved football team, the Bills, lost the first 4 of the Super Bowls in a row. And the one-time Great Lakes powerhouse had become best known for like falling snow and falling short. Yikes. But that's not just about it. There's everything else about Buffalo too. There's so many things that seems to happen too. Like thank you Buffalo, the NFL there's an NFL star on how the city rallied around him during his biggest challenge. That's pretty darn important too, because this guy actually has loads of fans, and he, well, played football. Nice. No, I'm running out of time. Let's go ahead to violins. Now, next up we have World of Good, Reasons to Smile. Violins for everybody. Apparently, violins are a pretty darn thing too. There's this woman named Mary Elizabeth Brown, and she actually goes ahead and plays the violin. She's been playing since she was 5, and Brown has been playing the violin since she was 5, but the one that she is playing, which is also white too, is actually different. This violin, which was 3D printed in polymer plastic for less than $37, which like traditional wood violins can actually sell for thousands. Yikes. And this is actually part of a project to improve access to music education for kids of all economic backgrounds. And Brown says that and she's like the director of the AVIVA Young Artist Program in Montreal, it's her hope that her future music lessons and future students will find these instruments engaging to make, easy to play, and an inspiring start to their musical journey. There's no 1/2 size, 3/4 size, or 1/4 size, or 4/4 size. No, none of that anymore. You can customize it for yourself. And that's where Violence for Everybody comes in. Yay! You got Violence for Everybody! Yay! Alright. And next up, we have finally the Hoppy Hour. Now, this Hoppy Hour is pretty interesting too in its own way. Let me explain. It's about beer. Yes, you heard me right. beer. Now, so many brews can actually be chosen from all this. So I guess all those beer fans out there, keep listening, keep your ears peeled off. Yeah, peeled on. Let's keep this going. Now, every fall, the mayor of Munich actually taps the first keg of Oktoberfest from the inside the city's oldest beer tent, which is the Schottenmann, some sort of German word, Schottenhamel Fischerhal. And this is surrounded by like cheering crowds and a brass band, and the mayor proclaims proudly, "Oh, that is, it has been tapped." Apparently, beer is pretty important here. Now, Germany's most famous Oktoberfest draws millions of beer drinkers every fall. Now, no surprise, given the beer is the world's of the oldest, having been brewed since ancient Mesopotamia, most of which is now Iraq, and around 12,000 years ago from barley and yeast. Now, beer back then was not like the same refreshing end to the workday as like most people actually do. Instead, it was like a sick porridge-like thing, flavored with date syrup instead of hops. Now, it wasn't until the Middle Ages that Catholic monks added hops to beer, which then they sold to generate income. When is that something monks do? And perhaps like were able to create the easiest craft brewers. Now, modern beers actually came more than 100 years ago because like modern beers actually come in more than 100 styles, but these varieties are actually just a subset of two different categories: lagers and ales. Now, mass-produced lagers like lagers actually make up like 87% of the American market, typical, and these are actually brewed using a longer, colder fermentation process, which actually produces a crisp taste. Apparently, I never drank beer before, though. Now, ales, like the hoppy Indian pale ales, IPAs, apparently that's what they're called. There are also dark, rich stouts, like the Ireland's famous Guinness. And they need a little bit of warmer, shorter brew to give them their fruity, floral, or malty aromas and flavors. Apparently, there are like over hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. However, if you prefer your brew without the buzz, like some sort of a buzz taste, then you can find more non-alcoholic offerings than ever. Now, big brands including Budweiser, Coors, Corona, and Heineken now make near beers with little to no alcohol content, as do a growing number of smaller craft brewers. Now, the number of near beer drinkers is growing up too. Like up more than 800% in the United States between 2020 all the way to 2023. Wow. And thanks to crafty craft brewers, there's just a beer for just about every palate. Some which is like irresistibly clever names, however. This one is called the Overachiever, an IPA from the Wooden Robot Brewery in Charlotte, North Carolina. Is it that? Or is it Dawn Patrol, a tart ale made from the Atlantic Ocean sea salt at Last Wave Brewing Co. in Point Pleasant Beach, New Jersey? Well, yeah. Okay, so some folks are... Oh, yeah. Well, okay, let me go ahead. Whew. Now, actually, brewmasters at Colorado's Black Bottle Brewery even made a milk stout infused with couch chocolate breakfast cereal. Wow. Now, some folks are so into craft brewing, they DIY it. They do-it-yourself it. According to the American Home Brewers Association, literally more than 1.1 million active home brewers, or Zymer, I guess, practice or study the brewing process. And that's pretty much it. I mean, they actually found an unlikely hero in the President Jimmy Carter, though. So Carter himself disliked alcohol and even banned it from the White House during his tenure. He did sign an act legalizing home brewing in 1978, and it had remained illegal since Prohibition. Perhaps you're actually among the happy folks to planning the for special seasonal varieties such as the German Marzenpfister or pumpkin spices, like whatever you're saying. Cheers! And that's it for today. See you guys in the next Reader's Digest. Schnan out. Peace.